Hello, you're listening to Arvind Rama's podcast service. This is Shweta Misra. Believe it, Indians won World War II. Consider this. Number of soldiers in Indian Army currently 14 lakh approximately. The number of Indian soldiers who participated in Second World War are staggering 25 lakh. Aggregating much more than 1.5 times the strength of existing Indian troops, they made the largest volunteer army of any country in the world. This information hits one like a revelation, since it was never a part of history lessons in our schools, and even today it is not being brought to the fore either through academics or through any other channels. More scandalous is the realization that the Second World War was actually won by Indians for the Allied forces. The most pivotal and decisive victory in World War II came when the Japanese army was stopped from advancing towards India via Burma, which is known as Myanmar today. If Indian soldiers fighting under Union Jack had not disrupted Japanese advance, they would have easily run over the Indian subcontinent. They would have established a link with the German army deployed in Iran. Winners of World War II would have been different then. Now comes the enigma. Firstly, why Indians fought this war? And secondly, why is this ginormous contribution of Indians in bringing world order not being spoken about anywhere in the world? Untangle the facts, one finds that those Indians who fought the war were young men full of nationalistic fervor who were dreaming of the ultimate independence of their country. These were soldiers who had the assurance of British Prime Minister Winston Churchill that once the war is over, India will be given independence. These patriots fought the war as British Indian Army, played their lives and defeated the Axis forces because they wanted to see their motherland break the shackles of slavery and become a free republic after the war. If only Winston Churchill had kept his promise, the sacrifices of these Indian soldiers would have been validated. But that did not happen. On the contrary, they were simply forgotten by Britishers because they were Indians. The tragic part is that when India did get independence ultimately, the newly formed Indian government de-recognized the British Indian Army. The pension benefit of these soldiers were also terminated. But there's a solace. Not all forgot them. There's a place where their victories stories are still celebrated with pride and their history embraced with love. It is in the present Indian Army units. Enter any of the older regiments officers' messes, quarter guards, etc. And first thing that catches one's eye is the shining glitter of fondly kept memories, mementos, and memorials which are associated with World War II veterans. Each of them features the strength, determination, valor, and courage of their regimental brethren. Most Indian Army regiments have immaculately preserved the war moments in these pieces and take immense pride displaying them, particularly for their fraternity to draw inspiration from. The details of British Indian Army should be made known to millennials, Gen Zs and the present generations. The present generation should decide whether those soldiers were really undeserving of the tag of Indian freedom fighters. The freedom struggle narrative of those who formed government immediately after India's independence can once be given a thought. The sacrifice of lakhs of Indians during World War II brought world order. It should be acknowledged.
Hello, you're listening to Arvind Rama's podcast service. This is Shweta Misra. Believe it, Indians won World War II.